And welcome back to the Legislative Lounge. I am your host, Natebige, and my co-host, Professor Mike. How are we doing tonight?
We are good. It's finally good to get a day off work.
Yeah. We took a last week off because I don't know. Neither one of us was feeling too hot last week. Mainly me, but I just finally back to my normal self. So, oh man. But I'm gonna give it a minute to let everybody get in here, and I want to welcome everybody in tonight. It is been an eventful 2 weeks, and honestly, we can say 2 weeks because we weren't on last week. I mean, what just everything that's been going on, Mike? What's your your overall thought?
You know, I think there's a lot of drama. It's like Netflix. There's a lot of drama. There's a lot of gaslighting. There's a lot of positive things going.
Mm.
There's some negative things going. There's some things up in the air. Like I guess we just take one thing at a time,
Mm-hmm.
and especially this whole Epstein thing.
We're gonna jump right into it, huh? Yeah. So
That's the most controversial one. It's like you open up any form of social media, that's all everybody's talking about. It's honestly getting old.
right. I mean, it is one of those things. Like I knew after Pam Bondi said what she said several months ago, and we hadn't seen it for a week. I knew we weren't getting it. We weren't getting nothing. So I mean, it's just one of those situations where it's so infuriating at the same time, but then there's also a lot of misinformation going around it as well. But I definitely want to dive into a little bit of it because regardless of whether or not now, I mean, when it comes to the list, right? The list that's happening, the infamous Jeffrey Epstein client list. I mean, in all reality, is like, was there ever even a list? Like, I mean, let's put this in perspective. Why do you think a man who is probably the world's most renowned sex trafficker and child trafficker of all time, probably, I mean, like, why would you think that he would literally put together a list of individuals that he talks to frequently as buyers? Like that, huh?
Well, when I think about it, it's like with every business, you have to have some sort of books, right? To keep a log. Now, we look at Jeffrey Epstein and we look at what's her name? Just Ghislaine Maxwell.
Ghislaine.
Yeah, Ghislaine Maxwell. You can't imprison people without proof.
Right.
And if there was proof, like this client list, as you and I both know, would have global ramifications. And to think that, this list was just waiting while the Democrats were in power to be released when Donald Trump took the stage. It's honestly it's ridiculous that some Republicans think that was going to happen. I knew that list wasn't coming out.
No, I mean, in all honesty, when you look back at it, where did it even start? Like this mythical list, right? Started in the media, right? The same people that came up with the Russia, same people that came up with the Steele dossier and all this other stuff, right? Like you guys gotta kind of like put that two and two together to say, because what did they use once they started talking about that list? What was the number one topic around it?
Donald Trump's on it. Like,
And who was running for president at the time?
exactly. But it's like I need y'all to do some simple math. Like whether you're on the left or the right, it doesn't matter. Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberal. I need you to do some simple math. In the 4 years that Biden and Harris were running this country, and they were just bulldozing Trump with legal case after legal case after legal case. If Trump was on that list, don't you think they would have used that?
I mean, we've repeatedly said it numerous times. I don't understand why people don't. But I mean, but in all honesty, Are they hiding something or some things? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because one of the main campaign promises was to release the files. Now, everybody started hyper-focusing on the infamous list, the list. But no, we wanted just the files. We wanted to see it, all of it, everything going on. And that's the problem, is that we don't even see that. And when it comes to Pam Bondi, I knew she was a terrible choice. I said it from the beginning. I've been right every single time when I say somebody's garbage, they're garbage. I've said it about, what is it? Pam Bondi, Chuck Schumer, or not Chuck Schumer, crap, what's his name? Speaker of the House. Golly, he's so Johnson. All these people, right? And yet, here we are with Pam Bondi just gaslighting America to the point where even Donald Trump is even getting on the podium and saying nobody cares about the files. What are you talking about? That was literally one of your main campaign points. But this is what gets me the most, Mike, is the fact that Pam Bondi's out here now switching up, right? She's switching up because she was directly asked about the list, right? Let's take a look at it. This was back in, I don't know, March.
They may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really?
Hold up. What did he say? He specifically said
the DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Hold up. Wait a second.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that.
No shit. And then she goes into talking about the JFK files and all this other stuff. But what I don't get is that now, because they came out and said, oh, the DOJ has concluded their investigation, they're blah, 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 blah. This is what she's saying now.
I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I said, I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file.
Bullshit. Bullshit. I'm just bullshit.
Like, if you want to be
specifically asked about the list, and you said it was on my desk.
Yep.
Specifically pertaining to the question of the list.
Mm-hmm. So it was she's either truthful right now, and there was never a list, and it was just the files, and she was lying back then to establish a base talking point, saying that we do have a list. So it's like when she was talking about a list, like this was also during the point when the FBI South District Office was destroying evidence.
Mm-hmm. And then you got to listen to the rest of what she's saying. This just happened, I believe, yesterday.
Along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that. Also, to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child porn is what they were. Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day. To him being an agent, I have no knowledge about that. We can get back to you on that. And the minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively the video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide.
We're like, for those that don't know, it's a 10-hour video, and you can find it's easy to find, and within there's
go to the DOJ website. They released it there,
and there's a 60-second block that is just bloop gone. It's like 57 seconds. And like, it's people like Pam Bondi that cause people to distrust the government even more. And I don't know why Trump is head over heels for her.
I don't know. He said she's doing a phenomenal job. I was like, how?
Like, she hasn't really done shit.
She keeps talking about, all these arrests that are going to happen. It's like, you haven't put cuffs on nobody but one judge.
Like, I understand if there's an ongoing investigation. However, you can say the client list, if it exists, you can say, in regards to the client list, it's part of an ongoing investigation.
Right. And here's the thing. Is there an actual list? More than likely not. However, you have all his data, all his computer information, all his cell phone records, everything. You know exactly who he's talking to.
Mm-hmm.
So to tell me that you can't find somebody that he was working with and selling children to, bullshit.
100%.
You lying.
Like, I made a video today, right before we came on, and basically I said, if you're a Republican and you're pissed off about this client list not being released, you need to come to reality, because it was never getting released. If it existed, it was destroyed by the Democrat Party. Those that were in power up at the top, Democrats and rhinos that participated in that sick man's fantasy land. And if you're a Democrat and you're faking outrage, like all you Democrats that are faking outrage that are making videos regarding this client list, you denied it for years.
Right.
Like, that is wild behavior.
Or
You're
you
the reason
outright didn't care. Yeah.
You guys are the reason why this country went to shit, and we elected Donald Trump to clean it up twice.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, it's I'm so sick and tired of the posturing of the left for when it suits them against their enemies, right? Because that's the only time that they actually say something. They don't have an actual moral standard that they go by, in which they just, this is where we're at and this is the line we're at. We're not crossing it. However, we have that. And that's why you see a lot of Republicans or conservatives or whatnot calling out Donald Trump over this. It's like, hey, yeah, maybe there wasn't a list. However, you are hiding something, and we damn well know it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's as simple as that. And that you're going to sit here and try and gaslight us into saying that nobody cares about the list? Nah, Donald Trump, you on some funky stuff right now. Now, that doesn't mean that he's lost our support as the president just because we don't like one thing that he did. Because you'd be a fool to sit here and say that you're going to agree with every single thing that somebody does. Because me and Mike, as best friends as we are, brothers, there are a lot of things that we don't agree on. There's a lot of things that we argue about, right? And I mean, even with our spouses, especially our spouses, right? So this doesn't mean that we told you, MAGA, we told you conservatives, look at Donald Trump now. No, it's not that kind of situation. It's like, yeah, but the thing is this is the main part about it, right? They're like, oh, he promised. It's like, but did he really though? Because didn't he catch a lot of flack throughout his entire campaign about never giving a straight answer about the Epstein files, guys?
Yeah. I
Y'all
think
need to go back to that campaign.
I think it was actually when he was talking to Sean Hannity, and he was discussing different files, whether it be
numerous,
JFK,
it wasn't just
MLK,
that
9/11, Epstein. He got a little bit well, what do I say? He got a little bit hesitant regarding the Epstein files. And
he said, what was the exact words? I should have found the clip. He said, and that wasn't the only time he said he did it that way. That's just the most prolific one that everybody knows about, because Sean Hannity kind of went like, huh? Because he's like, yeah, because after a pause, he's like, yeah, I did that one.
Yeah,
as long as or what he said,
I consider it.
He said, I'll consider it, and then he's like, he said something like certain portions of it or something like that. So like this whole fact that's what y'all need to remember. It's like, first of all, Donald Trump's never been straight up with the whole Epstein thing from the get-go. Y'all need to forget that kind of, like, I understand as a father of two girls, especially, this one is huge to me. And it seems as though our government and people in power around the world don't give a darn about, trafficking children or women in general. And it hits home for me. And I understand the anger around that. However, we need to focus on what is actually the purpose of why we put Donald Trump in the office in the first place, right? It's like, yes, that was one, but honestly, it was kind of on the lower end of the totem pole, right? Because, we could sit here and we could say, well, Donald Trump's running on this, he's got to drain the swamp. He's like, he's one dude. His entire cabinet almost last time was infiltrated by people
I could tell
paid off.
I could tell you my point of view about this whole thing. Like, for me, Jeffrey Epstein's dead. I moved on. And what I hope is that there is an ongoing investigation into the people that participated with him. And hopefully that yields fruit down the line. But it's not my priority. My priority are the numerous trade deals that are going to make things cheaper for me and my family right now. My focus is Donald Trump ending conflicts. My focus is America, and my heart goes out for those that were affected by that disgusting man, but he's dead. And Ghislaine Maxwell, she's in prison. The two tops are gone.
Right. And I mean, I know it's an ongoing war against child trafficking and sex trafficking in general. But at the same time, there's only so much Donald Trump can do. Y'all sit here and think that, he's the president of the United States. He can do just about anything. It's like, that's not true. It's just not true. Most of the power that's held here in the United States, they always say the president is the most powerful man in the world. It's like, no, he's not. No, he's not. The 535 people that are held up in the Capitol, them's the most powerful people in the world.
100%. They're the ones that are making everything more expensive for you. They're the ones that are taxing you out the yin yang. And it's like this whole Epstein thing, like when it was big, it wasn't covered in the news media. And all of a sudden, because Donald Trump is getting roped into the Epstein files by Elon Musk, because Elon Musk got his panties hurt in a bunch because Donald Trump took away his EV mandate. And now the news media can use Donald Trump as a scapegoat for why this list that they denied for years is not getting put out. And y'all are falling for it. Y'all are deterring your focus from what really matters. Don't pay attention to the man that's in front of you. Pay attention to the fucking dipshits over here, behind the curtain, doing shady deals in Congress.
Right. I mean, talking about Congress too, I know one of the big things is obviously the big beautiful bill, right? Everybody's been talking about that and what's going on there. So it is something that I kind of wanted to bring up a little bit tonight, just so that way we can, go through what people don't understand about it, because a lot of them are like, "Oh my God, we don't know what's going to happen." It's like, no, we definitely know what would have happened if it didn't go through. See, what you guys don't understand is like, yes, it's not a perfect bill. Could there be more? Could there be better? Absolutely, right? But there was a deadline to get this done, because there are sunset clauses on the 2017 tax reform that he did back then, right? And that ends at the end of this year. So the simple fact is that if they wouldn't have passed it by the July 4th deadline, they wouldn't have been able to go through and make any kind of changes to where we were going to get stiffed on our taxes next year. Like I'm seeing, I was seeing forecasts of up to 65% increase in your tax being taken out.
Can you imagine that? Like a 60+% increase in federal taxes. Like,
because you gotta think they're getting rid of the standard. They would be severely lowering the standard deductible. They would be severely reducing, if not eliminating, the child tax credit. I mean, there are so many things. The tax bracket itself would have changed and altered.
Well, let's look at that real quick. Based on the IRS tax code, based on Trump's current cuts, majority of you that are in the lower income, middle income, were receiving some type of tax return or tax refund because you were paying too much, right? Now, if this was not to pass, you would be owing.
Right.
All of you would be owing. The tax credit would go away. The standard deductible would be lowered. When the standard deductible increases, that allows you to get more of your money back.
Right. And the great thing about this, guys, is it does all of that and more. Is it perfect? No. However, it solidifies and increases those tax advantages from 2017 for all of us. And it alters the tax brackets itself, lowering most of them. And I say most of them because the top 1% isn't getting an adjustment. So contrary to all this fear-mongering from the Democrats saying it's only for the uber rich, is absolute malarkey, as Joe Biden would say. Because when you take a look at it, when it comes to these billionaires, the top 1%, they don't give a damn what the standard deduction is because they don't use it.
No.
We do. The middle and lower class does. The child tax credit, they don't care. That's like non-existent to them in their tax return. But to me and you, it is. So increasing, that's great. And then there's a lot of different advantages in here in regards to like telehealth and things of that nature that a lot of hospitals were having issues with. Especially, I was just talking to a doctor out of California yesterday, and he wasn't even aware of this. But he was talking about how the elimination of telehealth due to all the COVID stuff and all that is one of the primary ways that they're actually able to see their clients because of deductibles and things of that nature, right? Because it provides a direct service to the doctor without them having to pay anything because it's free. However, that was going away this week. Like this week, it was being eliminated, he said. But I showed him on page 254 of 330 of the entire bill, it actually extends that permanently. So he was elated to hear that because now we can help a lot of different patients that don't have access to either getting to the hospital, getting to the doctor office, or really don't have the money to pay for the deductible to go in.
100%. And, one of the big things that's been talked about is it's the Medicaid section of the bill. I think you were just discussing it. And how there are millions of people getting kicked off. So if y'all are just tuning in, me and Nate actually go through these big ass bills and we read them. We find out what people are upset about and we actually go through the legislation and we read it and then we bring you what we find based on the legislation, not based on our interpretation, based on what it actually says. And there's a lot in the legislation where it says we're going to strike this portion of this act. So we take that sentence and we go pull up this act, see what's being stricken through, what's added to, and then we bring it to you and we bring the truth, right? The truth between the lines. Now, as far as the millions getting kicked off of Medicaid, those people are people who are not allowed to be here. People who they restructured it to where if you are a lawful immigrant, you have to wait 5 years to qualify. And then if you are able-bodied, you are not on it. There are restrictions. And if you are able-bodied, that means you get to go to work, right? That means you get to add more to the overall federal revenue.
Right. I mean, there are so many different things in here. Like when it comes to even the oil leasing, repeal of Inflation Reduction Act provision that affected onshore oil and gas leasing that required them to go through numerous different channels to get specific requirements and had to buy certain licenses and whatnot, which is what made our gas prices go up. Yeah, we're getting rid of that. So we're going to start seeing cheaper gas come next year. Like even cheaper than what it is now. But that's one of the, I mean, these are the things that people don't look at when they go through these bills. They just listen to the people that have been lying to them for years, even though they'll sit here until you're blue in the face, until they're blue in the face, saying, "Oh, those people in Congress, they're just looking out for themselves." Blah, 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 blah. But at the same time, all they do is regurgitate everything that they say, rather than actually going and really reading it. It's 330 pages, guys, and it's really, the pages aren't that long because it's like condensed. It's like this big on a page that's this big.
100%. And it's like, what's something else that people are upset about with that bill? There's something else. Oh, it's SNAP benefits. This is actually funny. So if y'all probably know the influencer, because she just appeared on top 100 social media influencers. Her name is Under the Desk News. And she made a video. It's no longer there, courtesy of yours truly. She made a video saying that if you have internet, you cannot get SNAP benefits. So what does Mike do? Mike goes to the legislation, screenshots it, puts it on my background, and I say, no, if you are applying for SNAP benefits, you cannot then itemize your internet service cost as a deduction to get more SNAP benefits, because that is deemed a luxury item. So she blocked me on Instagram and then deleted the video.
Wow. I'm surprised she deleted it. I'm straight honest with you. I'm surprised she even deleted it. But see, that, and there's also another thing out there where it's like people are saying that if their children are 8 and older, they're going to be removed from the benefits of like Medicaid and SNAP and all this stuff. Huh? Where in the bill does it say that? Because what I'm reading is it says that there's a work requirement for it, but that just means that they have to file something, like just what you would have to do if you were getting unemployment, right? It's the same thing. The database, you go in, you say, I work this amount of hours, or I've applied to these amount of jobs. It's nothing more than that. 100%. Like people around the country do it already.
100%. Like I was looking in, like when I got out of the military, I was looking into getting unemployment, and that was one of the things that I would have had to do. I would have had to show proof of the places that I applied, and then I would have had to show records of me contacting those places of employment. But I didn't go on unemployment. I went and got a job within, a month.
Right.
So.
We can go down this list of just tax advantage after tax advantage, honestly, and looking at what it's going to do. Plus, there's lots of repeals, lots of termination of different items that are either nonsensical, redundant, or just honestly will help you in the long run, because the termination of restriction on clean energy, clean electricity, production credit, like those things don't affect you guys. They're like you sit here and people will say, oh, it's just a big old monolith of a bill that doesn't do actually anything for the everyday person. But yet we've already named like several of them that you have.
You know what blows my mind is the Supreme Court ruled, we talked about this 2 weeks ago, where the Supreme Court ruled that federal district courts have a lane and they need to stay in it. We had, a week ago, we had a judge block a section of the big, beautiful bill that is law. This judge blocked this law from defunding Planned Parenthood.
Which won't go anywhere because they literally can't do that.
Like
you can't block the law. You don't have the grounds to do that. Only the Supreme Court does. Sorry.
Like,
like this is the level of just absolute incompetence in the judicial system that we're seeing.
Yeah. Just days after this bill was signed, this judge thought that they would pull a fast one and block a provision that defunded Planned Parenthood. Like, you can't just look at a law and say, I'm going to choose this one to block. Like, Where in Article 3 of the Constitution does it say a judge can block a law?
I have no idea.
Like, what are we doing?
It's crazy to sit here out here and see. I'll advocate it on every single one of our lives for the NORA Act. I want John Thune to get off his butt and actually pick up that bill that's been sitting on his desk since friggin' March or April and do something with it, because it's already passed the House. And that'll eliminate all of this.
Well, we know about John Thune.
It's irritating. It really is.
How that guy got majority?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
But
I mean, I know that you had just brought up the Supreme Court. I know that we did get some good news for the Trump administration and his plans for his agenda. So, Mike, you want to tell us a little bit about that?
So, Trump, during his campaign, ran on defunding the federal Department of Education. And of course, when he passed the executive order January 20th, I believe it was January 20th, as one of his first executive orders was to defund the federal education department. Well, it got blocked by some liberal judge, and then SCOTUS ruled on it, and Trump won. In a 6-3 ruling, the Supreme Court of the United States ruled that the Trump administration can go forward with the mass firings and the deconstruction of the federal Department of Education. It's a wonderful thing. What that does is it places the responsibility and power of educating the youth, our children, back in the hands of the parents where it belongs.
Right. But of course, you have the absolute nutcase of Justice Sotomayor. Sotomayor. Yeah, whatever her name is. Out here absolutely losing her mind over this, too, in the dissenting opinion.
Oh, yeah. She said something along the lines of, this is Trump's unilateral. This is just another.
It says this case arises out of Trump's unilateral effort to eliminate a cabinet-level agency established by Congress nearly half a century ago.
Yeah, established by Congress, but under the purview of the executive branch. Like,
right.
What are we doing?
You just said it was a cabinet-level agency. Who controls the cabinet?
Well, it's like these liberal judges are just remedial. Like there was a ruling, and Jackson it was like a 8-1 ruling. Jackson being the only dissenter, and Sotomayor had to remind in the ruling, had to remind Jackson what case she was on.
Jesus.
Like, how do these people get appointed? Like,
it's not even that. It's like, why are you appointed for as long as like a lifetime? Like, they live like same thing with like, who was that lady that just died a couple years ago? I can't ever pronounce her name.
Ruth Ginsburg.
Ginsburg, yeah, that chick. Like, she was like 100 years old almost. Like, there's no reason for you to be working until you're 100 years old. She was like 80 something, but I mean, and I understand that applies to people like Robert,
Justice Roberts and Clarence Thomas.
Robert and Thomas, but at the same time, you can see that they're fully, within their mental capacities. Like, they're not forgetting what case they're on and all this other stuff. Of course, dinosaurs everywhere.
We were talking about Planned Parenthood, and it reminded me of this case. I don't know if you saw the video, Nate, of me basically explaining that after the Supreme Court ruled on the nationwide injunctions, a judge by the name of Joseph LaPlante did a injunction to block the birthright citizenship executive order based on a class action suit. But what he did,
Yep.
I'm going to read this to you. I'm going to read this to you.
No, yeah, I know.
Well, for all those that haven't heard, so in light of the above, this court grants the petitioner's motion and provisionally certifies the following class for the purpose of preliminary injunctive relief. All current and future persons who are born on or after February 20th, 2025.
Wait, what?
All current.
Read it.
All current and future persons who are born on or after February 20th, 2025.
Future persons.
Yeah.
Interesting verbiage.
What this does, and the left is already losing their mind over the right using this, because this is beautiful precedent for pro-life advocacy groups to ban abortion nationwide. Because what this judge did was establish personhood for future persons. That means unborn babies in the womb that have not yet been born. And there are some people that are saying it says all who are born, but if it just pertained to those that are born, it would have just said all persons who are born.
It wouldn't say future persons.
So that's the key words, right? Like in law can be nuanced. Law is, and it can also be very specific. And this judge, I don't think, knew what he was doing.
No, not at all.
So I can't wait to see how this, is used.
I'm surprised if there wasn't, because that was what, Friday afternoon?
Yeah.
If there wasn't multiple lawsuits that were filed by pro-life advocacy groups today, I'll be surprised.
Yeah,
and I mean across the country.
And for those that don't know, and I've talked about it at length, at nauseum, as pertaining to birthright citizenship, there is not a Supreme Court case that rules that birthright citizenship pertains to people who are illegally here. And when it comes to U.S. v. 𝗦𝗓𝗧𝗧, those parents of 𝗦𝗓𝗧𝗧 were in the country lawfully and legally. So the justices of that time applied the Just Solely Clause, which means of the soil.
Well, it was also had to pertain to the actual treaty that we have with Japan as well.
China.
With China.
So
I can't ever remember the name of that specific treaty, but in that
it's the China. The reason they denied entry was, one, because his parents were Chinese nationals, and two, the Chinese Exclusionary Act. So, but the fact that they were legally domiciled here was the turning point in this case. And since they were legally here, that roped them into the Just Solely Clause for children that they created. Now, the Just Solely Clause is important because if you break into this country, you do not have the right to the land to which you set foot on, which is why you are deemed deportable.
Right.
And that also applies to the babies you poop out, which is why the children of those Honduras mothers were able to be deported with their mothers. Jurisdiction is a hell of a thing.
Requested it.
Jurisdiction is a hell of a thing. And it's amazing how many people that don't understand just the plain English language think that they're going to understand legalese.
Yeah. But I mean, there's a lot been going on, but I was mentioning earlier about how Donald Trump tends to usually have people around him that are snakes, right? Well, I don't know if you've heard this, Mike. It seems like we have a snake in the Secret Service. I don't know. Have you seen anything about that?
No, but I have.
No.
I have seen. Actually, I think I might have seen something pertaining to a year ago this time.
Well, when it comes to what's his name, there is a specific situation going on where our very favorite Project Veritas has been texting with a Secret Service agent. And in that, he's giving specific details of coordinations of where the president is and debasing him at the same time. Secret Service agent Mark Hendrickson invited a female Project Veritas journalist to the White House. The undercover journalist expressed her hatred for Donald Trump to kind of like bait him, in which Hendrickson replied, yeah, he's doing a lot of wacky shit right now. So, yeah, we do have access to these text messages. So, I don't know, though. I mean, what do you think, Bike? Should we show them?
Yeah, 100%.
All right. Well, let's do that for the audience because that is something that we should all know about because I'm going to go through it on my Facebook because I saved them to my computer, but they're just not working right now. So this is the individual agent, Mark Hendrickson Jr., that was provides protective detail and access control for all White House events to include official stage visits and state dinners, blah, 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 right? And goes through what he does, where he works, and all that stuff. But getting into the text messages, this is where it begins. He said, well, I mean, honestly, this is just some of them. And he's talking here with the individual, shows a picture of where he's at specifically on the White House lawn during his shift or whatever they call him. Says that he's liberal, voted that way since he was 18, right? So he's established that he probably didn't vote for the president. And that's okay. That's his right. But then the Project Veritas agent then baits him into saying, I can't stand the felon in office. Says, yeah. He's doing a lot of wacky shit right now. Ugh. I just want to talk talk about well, you know, they can't really text here. But it seems like every day it's something new. So, and then, well, if you're close to the White House, you can come here and say hi, blah, 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 inviting somebody to the White House, which I just don't see how that's controlling the environment of safety in the White House. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But anyways, here's a couple other text messages as well. But he invites her, says her to come here, sends photos, and boasting that he works there every day, discloses sensitive operational details, which obviously we don't have access to because, you know, he shouldn't have even been providing that. And then he's disparaging the commander-in-chief as well. Like, I understand that you may not agree with him, but when you're in the realm of having to protect him, right? Because that's literally your job. Then we have a problem with whether or not you're able to actually do your job at the level that you should be.
100%.
Is it just me?
I
don't know.
I'm sorry to, change the topic real quick, but we have some breaking news. Did you see this? That Ghislaine Maxwell would testify before Congress?
That was yesterday. However,
that's today.
Congress is blocking it. She was supposed to testify.
That is a lot. Because
I was just about to go. I meant to bring that up earlier, but yeah. So Congress is reportedly admitting to prevent Ghislaine Maxwell from disclosing Jeffrey Epstein's client list. Because if anybody knows of the list, it might not be a physical list, but knows who the people are, it would be his right hand, which is Ghislaine Maxwell.
I want to know who blocked it.
Oh, I mean...
So, because, here it says, and this was written at 8 a.m. today, convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell is reportedly ready and willing to testify before the U.S. Congress about the full extent of Jeffrey Epstein's criminal empire and the powerful men who participated in it.
Mm-hmm.
So, she would, according to someone close to her, she would be more than happy to sit before Congress and tell her story. No one from the government has ever asked her. She remains the only person jailed in connection to Epstein and would welcome the chance to tell the American public the truth. So,
right. I mean, for me, and the Trump administration was coming out earlier today too, saying how they wanted to release more evidence that's related to the files in the case to offer more transparency. It's like, why didn't you do that already? We've already lost faith in you in this particular matter. Is it just me, or it just seems like this? There's a lot of moving parts that we're not seeing. There's a lot of behind the scenes of such stuff that's not being transparent that we were promised.
Mm-hmm. And it's like we have numerous examples when it comes to things like this where the government just doesn't care about protecting children, whether it be education, whether it be protecting them against trafficking, whether it be protecting them against abductions, or both. Like we have this in Colorado, prosecutors let a registered sex offender who snatched an 11-year-old boy at recess walk free due to a competency ruling. So, thankfully, in Arizona, if you have any type of conviction resulting in children, life in prison.
Man.
Still a little too liberal to just go full, DP, but we're getting there. But yeah, Colorado's 18th Judicial District Attorney's Office has decided to drop the charges against Solomon Galligan, a 33-year-old registered sex offender who brazenly attempted to abduct an 11-year-old boy from Black Forest Hills Elementary School during recess in April 2024. So,
I don't understand that.
The school didn't go on lockdown. He went onto the school grounds and was chasing the kid, snatched him up, and then police thankfully arrived. But after a psychiatric evaluation, it was determined that charges would be dropped due to a mental incompetency. Sorry, in my eyes.
No, absolutely. Like and it's the whole thing with like the father that ran over the cop because his son was a criminal. They were just talking about it a few weeks ago, right? Now they're trying to go through the whole, he was, mentally insane and all this other jazz. But like, those are the people that need to be put down the most.
Yeah.
They don't need to be rehabilitated and put back into society. We already know that their mental capacity has a certain limit. So when it gets to that limit, they break. Somebody dies. Like, what are we doing?
But like,
I don't understand.
Like this is a 33-year-old man who's already a registered sex offender, and he tries to abduct an 11-year-old boy. He needs to be put down. Like,
absolutely.
There you go.
Without question.
100%.
Yes, sir. Now, one of my last topics that I had for tonight was something that's pretty intriguing, and I've been following it behind the scenes, not really even talking to Mike about it, but everybody's heard about it. Everybody thought it wasn't going to go anywhere because it was deemed legal, right? However, Joe Biden, Levy Joe, was auto pen signing numerous things at least within the last year of his presidency, right? We know this. And they tried to kind of sweep it under the rug and say, hey, oh, well, I mean, it's approved in certain, all that crap, right? We heard all that. However, Biden is out here being a dunce that he is, admitting that the majority of the last minute pardons, he didn't even approve. And his lawyer has now abruptly quit amidst the auto pen scandal. So Joe Biden's out here scrambling for a new lawyer, right? And even further than that, because of this, certain triggers have happened that is causing a whole blow up of this. And we're going to start seeing more of it if they keep feeding it, right? Is the fact, one particular one is Senator Rand Paul has formally issued a criminal referral for Dr. Anthony Fauci to Pam Bondi and the DOJ following the revelations that Fauci's pardon was signed using an auto pen, right? But it's even more than just a regular old auto pen. It wasn't even approved by Biden himself, and it was the White House chief that actually did it. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
So, with that can change a lot. We can really start to see the reality of what happened during 2021 through 23. All these other people, like his Hunter Biden, that got... You got to think the ramifications of this, guys. Think big picture. But the problem is that will Pam Bondi actually do something? Will the DOJ finally react? I mean, we want to hope, right, that this is a new reign of Donald Trump and he's got all the right guys in office now. Because he learned he had a bunch of snakes in his first cabinet. Now he's got the right guys.
No,
I don't know.
We need someone to replace Pam Bondi, like Ricky Tick.
Right.
And
now, obviously, people are out here saying the whole spat between her, Kash Patel, and Dan Bongino didn't actually happen. And Kash Patel came out and made a public statement on his Twitter about how he isn't planning to step down, which is probably true, right? However, to sit here and say that everything's kosher, kind of basically what he did in his tweet, is like, you can't lie to us, man. Dan Bongino didn't even show up to work, bro. We know how he feels about the whole Epstein because we've seen his podcast. We know he's pissed, and we know that there was an actual fight. We know this because we know Dan Bongino. So don't gaslight us into believing some BS that, oh, everything's kosher. And then Trump was doing the same thing. You miss me with that, President. Mr. President, we know darn well you have no idea what's going on because you're busy doing other things, and we're okay with that. But don't sit out here and say that Pam Bondi is doing a phenomenal job. Fantastic. When we know darn well she's not. Sorry. Not sorry. The whole situation is it's going to be interesting, right? But some final like rapid fire for you guys is the deadline is coming. It's coming for the tariffs, right? The trade deals, they're on the brink, and Donald Trump's already trying to scare them, right? He's already lining up. He's got Canada, Japan, a bunch of other countries that he's like, hey, this goes into the 30%, 50%, some of them, right? August 1st, y'all don't get it done. August 1st. But then the whole thing with Russia, right? Says he gave Russia 50 days. Say, hey, come to the table for a peace deal. 50 days. Or else you're getting 100% tariff. And we're going to sanction you.
So After doing what they've been doing to Ukraine, 50% tariff and a sanction, that's a death sentence to a nation.
100%.
Oh, 100% tariff. Excuse me. That's a death sentence to a nation that's been at war.
Absolutely.
So,
And everybody knows that when we start to sanction somebody, you come to heel, because those sanctions go worldwide.
mhm.
And that's just how it is. So it'll be interesting to see. But like we said, we already predicted before everything was going to happen that the stock market would exceed where it was prior to the downward, right? And we're right there. We're right back at where we were, guys. Said that a couple weeks ago, but we were just under it. Now we've went over it. We're kind of like teeter-tottering right where we were. It's 44,800 was the Dow. So everything's going to skyrocket next year because more people are going to have more money in their pocket, which is going to contribute to more spending because people are going to have more money in their pockets, like I say, right? And that's just going to explode. Plus all these trade deals coming down the pipeline, they're going to happen. It's going to happen.
100%. And you know what's funny is I saw a comparison between April and July 4th or July 11th, one of those two. And it said, like, in April, it was like, economists predict tariffs, not going to work well. And then July 4th, it's White House brings in more than projected.
Yeah, we just hit a record number of tariffs as well, like over $100 billion worth of it. And they were sitting here talking about how all of the what was it that all of the situations with the tariffs and all that was going to send us into recession. Well, they've all backtracked that.
Oh yeah.
Now you don't hear anybody talking about the stock market. You don't hear anybody talking about the tariffs and all this other stuff. Nobody's talking about it now.
100%. And that's just a little bit of our tariff deals.
I think we only have 3 right now.
That's just a little bit. Like, imagine after August, imagine how much tariff revenue we're going to, build and take in at the end of December.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they were talking about the CPI and all that, consumer price index, just for those that don't know. And that was, it's nowhere near where they predicted. Inflation's down. Prices are down. And I've still got people commenting rapidly every day, hundreds of comments every day on that video I made from March. Some of them are stupid enough to sit here and say, oh, this aged like milk. I was like, obviously, you have no idea what you're talking about, because if I showed you the numbers now, you would shit yourself because they're even better than what they were back in March when I made the video.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, we're the ones that aren't paying attention to nothing, all this other stuff, right? Stupid. But we thank you guys for coming in tonight, joining us, for all those that were here and support our channel. We love you guys. Thank you for all the support. Reach out to us. Let us know if there's a particular part of the bill that you want us to read, or if there's something that you've heard the Democrats or somebody saying that you don't know if it's true or not. Let us dive into it for you. That's what the Legislative Lounge is for, is to dive into these for you.
100%.
Thank you guys for coming in. Mike, take us home.
Like Nate was saying, we have another show tomorrow with Radio Debang, and I can't thank them enough for hosting us and, dealing with our crazy scheduling as me and Nate have, because, we have full-time jobs, full-time daddy jobs, and we do this. So if y'all have anything that you want us to cover, message us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, what have you, and we'll cover it in tomorrow's show. If it's one thing me and Nate love to do, it's research and bringing you guys the true information that the media is going to lie to you about. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us. We hope to see you tomorrow. And until next time, we love you.